Car meditation. Okay, I'm waiting to get some food. I don't even know what to title this one. We'll title it No Diddy or something, I guess. I don't know, but I'm waiting to get some food. Two young guys in the restaurant having a conversation. They pulled me in. I did not say anything. I ordered my food and I was attempting to walk out. And they said, "Hey, Unc, let me ask you a question real quick." They was like, "What you think about, the Diddy and the R. Kelly type, stuff going on, man?" He was like, "You think they should, me and him talking, you think they should get, punished or blah, blah, blah." And he said, and the one guy said, "Man, I'm just trying to get him to understand, the white guys been doing this and doing it." And I said, first of all, I said, anybody who does some of the heinous things that they done said, both of these men have done, whether they black, white, brown, whatever, it don't matter. It's wrong, and yeah, you should have, I believe the law ain't deep enough for what should be done. But that's just my personal opinion. But one thing you got to remember, and this is saying that my grandfather told me growing up: do the right thing when nobody's looking. Do the right thing when nobody's looking. Talent doesn't equate character. We have to remember that. Talent doesn't equate character. Just because you're talented, that's what I feel black people need to understand. Just because you're talented doesn't mean you're a good person. Talent doesn't equate character. You could be an evil monster that can sing and play the guitar. You could be an evil monster that can dance. You can be an evil monster that can act. You can be an evil monster that can dunk a basketball. Just because you can do something that you learned how to do and that you were gifted to do does not mean that you're a good person. Doesn't mean that you're better than anyone else. You're just good at that thing that you know how to do. Talent doesn't equate good character. And so that's where we go wrong as people. We idolize these people. You're not supposed to take no idols. You idolize these people. They don't have to be great. They don't really have to be great. And I'm going to say this as I close. If you go back to the movies we used to watch growing up, and then some of the kid movies that are out today, and if you pay attention to kid TV shows, didn't they always show the jocks as being jerks? Didn't they always show the cheerleaders as being mean? Why do they always show the most talented people as being bad? Because somebody had it in their mind then to show you that just because something looks good doesn't mean it's good. They were teaching us that as kids. And somehow, as adults and young adults, we lost that. But they always showed us on TV shows and in movies, the jocks were jerks. They picked on everybody, on the people that wasn't jocks. The cheerleaders were mean. They picked on the girls that wasn't cheerleaders or pretty as they were. So you think that just came out of thin air? Or is that something that people lived? And people wrote about it and made movies about it and made books about it. And when they got old enough to do something about it, whether it was make films or music, they put it out there in the world to show you that this is how life is and this should change. And then what happens in those movies and those books and those shows? Some of the jocks end up becoming, decent guys. And some of the cheerleaders end up learning that they shouldn't be mean. Or in that group, it's always one of them that's different than all the group. And it's like, why are you hanging with them? You shouldn't be hanging with them. You're not like them. You're different. And they've been showing us that for years, that we shouldn't idolize these people just because they're talented. It's been there in front of you all this time. But yet you still idolize these people because they're talented. Talent doesn't equate character. To do the right thing when no one's looking. I don't care who you know or connected to. If your person is doing something that's against who you are, you don't have to do it just because you make the same amount of money that they make. Just because they invite you out. You don't have to. And if you make enough money to where you're able to do anything you want, and you know you have a problem, and you don't get help, that's even worse. That's even worse. You got people who don't have all of that, who are getting up going to therapy online or in person, or going to the gym, who are trying to better themselves. You have people who have less, much less than some of these people that are wealthy sitting in jail right now. And yet, you don't get help. You use your gift and your talent to manipulate, hurt others, prey on other people. But yet, us quote unquote regular people just walking around trying to make it every day, trying to better our minds, trying to better our bodies, trying to better our souls, and this and that, and praying and meditating and this and that. But you got enough money to stop everything and do all that, and you don't. So did evil befall you? May have, but it was up to you to figure a way out and fight for your life. Peace.